I want you to do me a favor and take a look at this grid of Adobe apps. How many of these do you think you... Whoops, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. How many of these do you think you could name? Probably not a lot after I just did that, right? When it comes to Adobe, in order to learn about an app, you pretty much have to learn how to use it. That's hard because a lot of these apps are not easy to use. Well, that all changes today as I run you down all of these apps in like a few minutes. By the way, that periodic table joke at the beginning took about 4.5 hours for me to make, so you better leave a like or I will cry. Okay, let's go. Photoshop. Of course we have to start here. Adobe's flagship product. Love it or hate it, I don't know why you'd hate it, it's industry-leading software in the image processing space. Touch up photos, make a GIF, create a logo, reduce your file size, make a cringy YouTube thumbnail. Almost any image editing need you have, Photoshop is designed to have your back. Illustrator. It's not the same as Photoshop, although they are often confused. Someone should make a video about that. Illustrator is designed for images and vector graphics only, so Photoshop can handle some of that stuff, but Illustrator is really a specialized tool for that area. Adobe Indesign is a page layout designing and publishing tool, so posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, newspapers, ebooks, that type of thing. Adobe After Effects is powerful software for special effects and motion graphics, like this, and like this. And even like this. Adobe Animate CC is animation software, if you can believe it. Most suitable for cartoon-like animation where drawing might be involved. It used to be called Flash, which is now dead. Rest in peace. Adobe Premiere Pro is professional video editing software with a layered timeline and a library of effects and transitions. Okay, so one of the things that makes Adobe's software catalog so confusing is how many apps there are that seem to do the same thing, you know? There's a lot of them, so let's power through them right now. Adobe Photoshop Express. Basically the mobile version of Photoshop. That's pretty much it. Adobe Lightroom is not Photoshop Light. That's what I used to think it was. It's like Photoshop, but it's really designed for photography. So color corrections, lens flare, any of that sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm not a photographer. Its most useful feature is that you can batch edit photos. So a photographer might come home from a shoot with 1,000 pictures, you know, and if they all need to be corrected the same way, Lightroom will let you do that. Lightroom Classic is also not Lightroom Light. It's the same as Lightroom, but it's less optimized for large batches and more optimized for precise and advanced adjustments to singular photos, and is available on desktop only because it's that powerful. Adobe Photoshop Camera is a free camera app for mobile devices by Adobe that lets you take photos, apply effects, and edit right there in the app. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't know it existed. Adobe Fresco, specifically for drawing and painting. So if you have one of those little drawing tablets and you want the most realistic digital painting experience, this is where you go. Oh yeah, and it's free too. Adobe Premiere Rush. This is actually a lighter version of Premiere Pro that can be used on your mobile device too, or in your desktop if you're in a rush. And if you're on a mobile device, you can actually shoot video directly inside the app too, which is pretty cool. While we're here, we should pay our respects to Adobe Prelude, which was a program for rough cutting large amounts of clips and footage at a time. It was discontinued on September the 8th of 2021 as Adobe focused on implementing Prelude's features into Premiere Pro. So at least they're making an effort to condense this enormous product catalog of theirs whenever possible. Adobe Character Animator is some really cool software that specializes in character rigging to create lifelike motion. The way it works is it accesses your webcam and will mirror your facial expressions and movements and all that onto the character you're animating, which saves a ton of time when it comes to lip syncing and all that. Adobe Audition is professional audio recording and editing software. I happen to be speaking into Adobe Audition right now. Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements. So these are the true light versions of their big brothers. They're stripped down, made simple for the amateur photo and or video editor. And actually, they are not part of the Creative Cloud. That's worth mentioning here. Instead, they're a one-time purchase, which is kind of unheard of for Adobe. I think they run you about $100 each. So not too bad. Okay, and to bridge us out of the land of confusing apps that all do the same thing as each other, we have Adobe Bridge. If you were smart enough to see that coming, you have to leave a like. I don't make the rules. It's kind of like a file manager, but designed by Adobe for Adobe, so helps you keep track of all your assets and project files as you work between apps and devices. Adobe Incopy. So if you remember InDesign from earlier, Incopy allows the copywriters to work together at the same time as the graphic designers when creating, pamphlets and magazines. So if you're a magazine or newspaper agency and you have to keep up with, one issue a week or something, I'm sure this saves a lot of time. Adobe Comp. This is a mobile app for creating comps and mockups using, quote, natural drawing gestures. According to Adobe, it converts your rough shapes and lines into crisp graphics. This one is heavily focused on integration between other Adobe apps and devices and whatnot. So create your comps on your phone, Send them to your tablet on Illustrator or send them to InDesign on your computer. Adobe XD. This is user experience designing software. The XD is short for experience design. Designing websites, apps, and all that. Designed for mobile, tablet, web, seamlessly and responsively, all at the same time. It seems to attack the same kind of market need that Figma does, if you've ever used Figma. And if you want to turn those designs into reality, you fire up Adobe Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is a visual website designer that allows you to create your website without you even needing to touch the code. It does also, however, include a powerful code editor if you know how to use it. All right, next we got 3D modeling software. First up is Adobe Dimension. Dimension specializes in photorealistic product composites, so it's for creating your product catalog without having to hire a photographer and a studio and all that stuff. Designed to have a shallow learning curve rather than a steep one, usually found in 3D product compositing software, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to use 3D product compositing software. Adobe Aero. Adobe Aero is also 3D modeling software, but is designed for creating augmented reality experiences with no coding required, straight from your mobile phone. And there is a desktop version in beta as I record this. And you might be thinking to yourself, those are two oddly specific use cases for 3D modeling software. That's where Adobe Substance comes in. Substance is your general purpose 3D modeling software from Adobe. It's not one app, but a collection of 4. So you got your 3D Painter, 3D Designer, 3D Sampler, and 3D Stager. And it is not part of the Creative Cloud. It's its own subscription. I believe runs you about $40 a month. Super powerful stuff. Over my head for sure. I'll leave that for the smart people. Adobe Capture is a camera app that scans what you're looking at and recreates it as best it can. So shapes, patterns, colors, materials, even fonts. So yeah, if you see a font you like, you can use Capture to, capture it and save it in Adobe Fonts. You like that? Adobe Fonts is a massive library of fonts to use across all your Adobe apps. And it used to be called Typekit, if you remember that name. Adobe Spark is a free online graphic design tool that can do some basic edits to photos or videos, usable on web and mobile. And once you're done using all those creativity apps, you can show off what you made on Adobe Behance. Behance is an art and photography showcasing website by Adobe, a little bit like Dribbble if you've ever used Dribbble. Though Dribbble is a little more geared towards social networking, whereas Behance is more of a showcasing thing. Speaking of showcasing, Adobe Portfolio is a tool specifically for creating your own portfolio website. So if you want your own site to showcase yourself instead of Behance, this is the place to make it. Last couple of things in the Creative Cloud, we have Adobe Scan. Use a camera to scan pieces of paper, whiteboards, and all that stuff to create PDFs out of them. Pretty cool. Adobe Acrobat Reader, you've probably heard of for creating and showing PDFs. And Adobe Fill and Sign. This is exactly what it sounds like. If you've got a PDF that has a place you need to sign, rather than printing it out, wasting trees, Print and Sign lets you do it securely in the digital world. Okay, if you weren't already familiar, everything I just talked about, unless otherwise mentioned, is part of what's called the Adobe Creative Cloud. It's a family of programs designed for all reaches of creative work, right? But Adobe makes more stuff than that, you know? Have you ever heard of the Adobe Experience Cloud? Yeah, I didn't think so. I hadn't either. Apparently, it's a family of software for large businesses to manage their customers' experiences. So marketing, analytics, advertising. Yeah, that's why I didn't talk about it. You'd be asleep if you aren't already. But cool stuff, and good to know it exists. So those are the 2 clouds of services you can subscribe to. To finish out here, let's quickly make our way through the cool standalone stuff Adobe has made. So I already hit Photoshop and Premiere Elements and Substance, so let's do Adobe ColdFusion. ColdFusion is enterprise-level software for developing scalable and robust applications, including its own programming language. An enterprise-level subscription will cost you a cool $10,000 for the full license. So yeah, not for the average everyday consumer. Adobe Captive and Adobe Captive Prime. These are e-learning tools for teachers and instructors to create presentations and courses quickly and beautifully. Adobe RoboHelp. This is a knowledge-based tool, which is fancy speak for those little booklet things that you see in like Microsoft Word. Like you need help, and it opens up this annoying thing, like this thing. Yeah, that's what RoboHelp does. I thought it was going to be like an advanced AI program assistant bot that you can talk to or something, but no, it's just those little booklets that nobody likes. Adobe Stock. It's in the name. Stock footage, photos, graphics, all that stuff. One of the higher quality libraries out there, I have to say. Mixamo. Mixamo is probably the most standalone of all of these. It's got its own domain, mixamo.com. Animate your 3D characters for video games, movies, whatever you might need a 3D character for. And that's it. Cut, print it. That's a wrap. Holy moly. I feel like I need a nap, man. Thank you for watching to the end. You deserve a medal or a cookie or something. That was a lot. I'm sure there was something I missed. Let me know in the comments if I did. I'm sure you're already typing. This took lots of hard work to make, so if you enjoyed, please let me know by hitting subscribe. I only have 239 subscribers, so this was definitely a labor of love. So that's all I ask, and that you stay tuned. If you haven't seen my last video, I am back. I'm not dead like you probably thought I was. Making videos, having a good time. It's good to be back. Hit the bell too, because I don't upload often, and I promise to be a bell-worthy channel. Alright, stay safe guys, and hey, if you don't subscribe, I'll know.